Yo, what's
Hello.
your what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Ahmed and I'm coming from Toronto, Canada.
Let's
Ahmed from
go.
Canada.
Let's go.
Hell yeah! What you want to talk about tonight, Ahmed?
All right, so the other day I was watching Balla's on Levin 2K stream. He was ranting about the RIPFortnite thing on Twitter, and it wasn't really good for competitive. And I just wanted to ask, like, what do you guys think is really good for competitive going on forward? And like, what do we need to do as a community to get competitive serious in the eyes of the Fortnite devs?
That's an interesting slant to the question thrown in there because I don't know. From my point of view, like it already should be like important, but like I don't know if there's anything that we can do to make it more important to devs other than just make it more
Well, is
popular.
it specifically like do something about Epic not doing anything about comp? Is that like what you're trying to get at? Like, is there a way for the community to do something like Rip Fortnite that would get the devs to pay attention? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was just thinking like how you were. I think it was Levin. He was saying how like what's it called East Open made an EU branch and none of the players took the practice seriously.
Okay.
And they were saying how
So
like comp.
you're asking like what do we do as a community to make comp a thing, like to make comp better, to make comp a thing, and just in general, like because that was my POV. Was like I said, like if you guys want comp to be good, stop trashing it. If you guys want tournaments, then make your own tournaments. If you guys want broadcasts, then make your own broadcasts and support broadcasts, like all that stuff. And Levin went on and said like nobody is doing anything, even from a community level. So that's what you're getting at, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thoughts, guys. So we're talking about Rip Fortnite, the hashtag, and then also like what can we do as a community, basically, like end it there.
So for the Rip Fortnite thing, I feel like that's just a build up, and that will always happen after season 10. In season 10, that one blog post where it was like, "Screw you, the mechs are fine." Screwed it for the general community. You cannot expect people after that to hold up to a good standard, in my opinion.
There's no
after
respect.
that moment, it was like, okay, like they hear us and they said no. It's fine if they hear us and they say nothing, but hearing and saying no to an item like that, to something like that, is just like, I understand why Rip Fortnite happens. I think that's where it stems from. Now, for the in-game change, I think that we need more customization before that can truly hold true, because I would 100% love to see a trios event community run, but there's no opportunity for that to happen. I would love to see us have the opportunity to, buff an AR spawn rate, change the way chests are around the map and what comes out of them in general, have our own loot pools and give us some more freedom as to what to do customization wise. Third-party events, I think, would thrive after that. But the fact that we're always locked in and switching up, and there's a dope third-party event, Ball's gonna fly out, I'm gonna be there, it's Toronto casted, boom, there's an FNCS that pops up, right? Like, it hurts. And then the next time, there's a less likely chance for that event to happen. So more freedom, more knowledge, and more customization is basically what we need. And in terms of Fortnite, I don't think we're ever going to go back.
We don't have the ability to create a pro mod. We just don't have like the tools available to do anything like that, right? Restrict what is and isn't available out of chests. Restrict, like this kind of stuff, right? Like remove AI from a match, that kind of thing. And it's rough because while there are things I feel the community can do, Balla, to your credit, to continue to try and push forward, there are things that we're 100% going to be reliant on the devs for the foreseeable future. Things like making the game balanced, making the game perform well. Like we're completely reliant on the devs for those things. And I think that those issues are more what drives a negative sentiment than like they don't take care of the competitive scene from this like competitive viewpoint. It's more just like competitive is hard no matter how you slice it because of all these bad stuff in the game. That's what I'm seeing.
We don't really have any freedom as a community. We don't have. Balla's been begging for a long time for more custom tools to like be able to restrict who gets the key, who can get like that plagues third-party tournaments. The amount of like pros on alt accounts trolling and teaming is fucking ridiculous. Like the maturity level of the community needs to grow up a lot, and that it reflects on Twitter and it reflects on like East Open scrims, like we talked about earlier. Like even though the players in East Open are dog shit, we can't get people to respect like practice in general even enough that we have to run like serious zone rules. And even when we run zone rules, like people still kill each other before zone rules. Like the maturity level of the community is very, very low. And god damn, dude, can we please stop fucking impression farming on Twitter with fake tweets? Like Every single update, combat shotgun got added back, guys. Like,
who was that? Wasn't that? Wait.
It drives me crazy, bro. Like, I just want to know.
I know who that was.
I just want to know what the fuck is going on with the game without having to, like, if I see something on Twitter, I have to always take it with a grain of salt before I see like Epic talk about it.
Infamous
it's
in chat.
Unbelievable.
Infamous in chat brings up a good point though. Like, yeah, it'd be nice. Like, you just don't follow those people, right? You block them on Twitter, whatever. The way you solve that from ever being an issue is you release patch notes, and then everybody knows. If I want to know if something's in the game or not, I just go look at the patch notes.
But I don't. And this goes back to the original question, like, what can we do as a community to make Epic care about us more? And I just don't think there's anything that we can do. They're not releasing patch notes. They don't want to give us any custom options. They don't give a fuck about our third-party tournaments. The most Epic's willing to do is say, hey, we'll throw a bunch of cash at you, or not even a bunch. We'll throw a bit of cash at you every single season for an FNCS and some cash cups, and that's all you get.
So pessimistic. I get why you guys feel this way. I really do. And coming from me, that should mean a lot because I fucking tried. Like, I try, and I'm still trying, and I'm still trying. But here's my take, right? And why I get so upset, like, especially about RIPFortnite, about people saying #RIPFortnite.
I just want to say that I think that hashtag was stupid before you go.
Yes.
I don't like the hashtag.
Agreed.
I
think we all agree on that, right? Like, that's such a stupid
ones.
hashtag. Like, and specifically because it's people who want the game to die. It's people like they're all hopping on. They're like, yeah, RIPFortnite, like, woohoo, you guys suck, like all that shit. It's just like it's a stab at my back, basically. It's a knife in my back. Like, guys, we're still trying here. And here's the thing, right? If you believe that Fortnite has the potential to be one of the best esports, then there's still ways to make it that way. And we can try to rely on Epic, but it's been proven that Epic is not going to necessarily do anything about the things that we want right now. Okay. And so my point when I say, guys, we as a community need to step up and do something is Elite Cup, for example, had 150,000 viewers. That's a lot of viewers. That is something that Epic wants. Okay, so we need to run tournaments and we need to support tournaments when they happen. The Game Arena tournament in EU this weekend had barely any broadcasts going on because the community didn't step up and do a broadcast, myself included. I was like, no, I can't. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, I can't. But like, when people do those broadcasts, when Clay does those broadcasts, when Ozzy does those broadcasts, nobody gives a, like, they're like, yeah, Clay, and then they disappear for 6 months and nobody supports like anything, right? They don't actually, like, you need to support these things because guess what? A year down the line, 6 months down the line, if you guys still want this, and maybe you don't anymore, but a year or 6 months down the line, Epic is going to see this and be like, wow, like, this is actually a thing. Like, we need to be supporting this more because this is where our game is. Right? Eventually, the player base will be so interested in competitive, especially if they keep cranking these cash cups to make people play. Like, that is literally, if we support and drive everything outside of the community so high and get excited for it and post on Reddit about it, Epic will see eventually. They have to. They will see that I'm running broadcasts and they'll be like, wow, broadcasts are good. Let's do those. Let's do those things. They will. Like, that's, if they don't, then sure, the game dies. Okay, whatever, we move on. They haven't, but if you still believe, that's my point. Like, if you still believe, like, freaking try. Like, try. Like, why are we doing this? Like, please, if you still care, then stop RIPFortniting and go try. Like, please, guys, support the broadcast, support the community. Write up bug reports, bump us, submit shit to fucking Epic. Like, come on.
I think the counter argument here is that, like,
well, I mean, like,
do it.
I'm checking out, bro.
Yeah, half the community is so burnt out on what the actual how the game plays moment to moment. Like, the competitive scene be damned, how the actual game plays in those settings moment to moment is so incredibly frustrating, so incredibly,
and we're still here.
Consistency is hurt.
Well, until FNCS is over, we're here.
I guess we'll see, right? Like, that's the hard position. That's the hard position. That's why it's so easy to be negative, because whatever tournaments you put on, the game that you're playing is still the same. If that frustrates you, then like that's not changing, right? No matter what the community does.
Performance be damned. We've seen that it can be good. We have had chapter 1 or chapter 2, season 1 be so good.
Yeah,
in performance.
It was great.
Okay, so we can get back there. Like, yeah, this sucks right now, but they've shown that they care about it.
I don't want to go through the bipolar fucking roller coaster every other season of, oh, the game's decent right now. Oh, the game fucking makes me hate it.
That's the disconnect. That's the disconnect, right? Like, Balla's message is for those who love Fortnite so much that they're willing to stick through the shitty seasons and the shitty performance because they like Fortnite and they want competitive Fortnite to live. Then you have to do what Balla's saying to do.
I've done it for fucking 11 seasons, bro.
That's what I'm saying. There's the disconnect. There's the disconnect, right? Like, a lot of people aren't happy, right? They're not satisfied. They don't care if the community can keep Fortnite competitive alive because they're so dissatisfied with the game. I think that's fine. Like, that's just gonna happen, you know?
Yes.
The cry is don't say
like,
burn it down on the way out. Yeah, fuck all this shit. Like, let's
I don't want to burn it down. I still like. All right.
I'm not saying you do. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
And I still plan to continue to come back and play this game competitively. But when we have a season like this where it's clear that they don't care, I'm not gonna put in the same amount of care and love into it. You know, like,
that's fine.
I'm ready. Yeah, exactly. Like, last season was so good to me. Last season was so much fun to me. I loved playing last season competitively. I love learning new stuff. I don't know. I just loved the meta last season. I loved how they approached the game. Sure, the communication could have been better. You know, we talked about the squads thing, but like, overall, last season as a whole was really good for comp. And just to fucking pull the rug out from underneath us and fucking drop us on our asses with this new season in comparison, it's whiplash and it's really annoying. And like, it makes me, it's drawn me back for my care about the game this season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the rub. You know what I mean? If you still want competitive Fortnite to exist and be a thing, you have to engage in the ways Balla is describing. If you don't care, move on. But move on. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to involve this rip Fortnite mentality.
I have passion and drive for the game, but like, this season's just really sort of taking the wind out of my sails.
And it's not just the one season.
Explore other opportunities, you know?
Same.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the most frustrated I've ever been.
Yeah.
I'm on the verge, man. Like, but we're still here, you know? So like, if we're still here and we still care, like, let's put some effort into it, you know? And to people saying like, what other game has ever done that? Like, please, come on. This is what esports is built on. Like, this is 100% what esports is built on. No, the games, the reason why we even have Fortnite comp is because of games that have gone through this already. Counter-Strike? Are you kidding me? You thought Valve cared about Counter-Strike? And Dota? Like, Blizzard didn't care about Dota like at all. They let it go. They let Riot make a new game that's called League of Legends. That's why that's there.
Blizzard didn't have
Blizzard made dude, it was a mod in Blizzard.
They didn't have the rights though to stop Riot. Like, it was an awkward little position.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying they didn't care enough to make it to do anything good about it or make Dota 2 until League of Legends became a thing. Exactly. Like, I think this is how esports started. StarCraft is the same way. Fighting games are still that way. And Super Smash Brothers. Nintendo is worse than Epic. Way worse. And guess what? Super Smash Brothers is one of the best esports ever because it's so passionate. And if that's where Fortnite's going, and it's only passionate people that stay, like, okay, cool. Like, that's great. You know, I'm like, okay. But please don't try to tear the effort of people down.